Hi, boys and girls. As you know, this week we are focusing on solving word problems. So, on the screen, you are going to see a strategy sheet that I'll go over in just a second. As we work through these word problems in the slideshow, I would like for you to think about which strategy works best for you. Do you feel more comfortable with using the traditional adding up strategy? Or perhaps you feel more comfortable with adding up on the number line? Or you may feel comfortable with using base 10 models to add up. So on the screen, we have the acronym SUPER, which is here to help you work through the word problems that you encounter this week. So the S stands for slowly read the story problem twice or two times. U stands for underline the question, circle the numbers you need. P stands for picture it. Draw the scenario to show what is happening. You don't always have to physically draw out the scenario, you can also picture it in your mind or visualize it. E stands for explain the problem with the number sentence. Make sure your number sentence matches the problem exactly. And R stands for rewrite the answer in a sentence. And that is like an extra step if you have time to do that. So let's take a look at our first word problem. On Monday, there were some flowers blooming in the garden. On Tuesday, 23 more flowers bloomed. Now there are 56 flowers blooming. How many flowers bloomed on Monday? So I'm going to read my word problem again to make sure that I really understand what this problem is asking and talking about. On Monday, there were some flowers blooming in the garden. On Tuesday, 23 more flowers bloomed. Now there are 56 flowers blooming. How many flowers bloomed on Monday? So as you can see on the screen, I used green right here to highlight the word some. Some indicates an unknown partner or some unknown information. Here in yellow, I highlighted it. I highlighted 23 more. And as you can see, I put 23 down here in my equation. And in red, I highlighted 56 because that is the total amount. You can see down here in my equation that I have some unknown plus 23 more flowers equals 56. You're going to notice this pattern with all of the problems that we solve. They all will follow the same pattern. Take a look at my work. So, boys and girls, please excuse my penmanship. I am getting used to writing on interactive whiteboards. But at the top, I have my equation again. Something plus 23 equals 56. So here in the first section, I use the adding up strategy. So I started with 23. I added 7 more to get 30. I added 20 more to get 50 and 6 more to get 56. So the total amount that I added up starting at 23 was 33. Well, I went over here and I decided to solve by adding up base 10 models. Here in black, I started with 23 because that's the partner that I do know. And I decided to add up. I added another 10 here, which would give me, I added another 10 here, which would give me 33. Another 10, which would give me 43. Another 10, which would give me 53. I'm still not at the total of 56, so I added some ones, which would make 54, 55, and 56. In red, you can see the amount I added to the 23 that was already there. So my answer once again is 33. And then lastly, on the number line, I started at 23, and then I added 10 more to get 33. I added 10 more to get 43, and then 10 more to get 53, and then plus 3 to get 56. If I count up my hops at the top, that would be 10, 20, 30, 33. So the missing partner or the missing addend is 33. Let's take a look at the second problem. Once again, they all follow the same pattern. On the way to school, you see some caterpillars. You see 16 caterpillars on the way home from school. You saw 31 caterpillars total. How many caterpillars did you see on the way to school? So I'm going to read that again. On the way to school, you see some caterpillars. You see 16 caterpillars on the way home from school. You saw 31 caterpillars total. How many caterpillars did you see on the way to school? So this word problem starts off with this person seeing some caterpillars, which indicates an unknown number. Something's missing there. So I started my equation with that green line to indicate that there is a number that's missing. And then the person sees 16 caterpillars on the way home. So in yellow, I have my 16 here and here. And they saw a total of 31 caterpillars when they combined the trip on the way to school and the trip on the way home. So here's my equation. Something plus 16 equals 31. I wrote that at the top of the screen here, or right here, and I solved using all three strategies. I started with the adding up strategy first. So 16 is where I'm going to begin. So I added 4 to 16 to equal 20. I added 10 to 20 to get 30. I added 1 to 30 to get 31. When I add up the numbers that I added to 16, these three, 15 was my answer. This is a great way to check and see if your answers are right too. For the second strategy, I started off with 16. So I have my 110 stick and my 6 black circles. And then I decided to use red again to add up. So I added a 10 and that gave me 26. And then I added more circles because I'm not yet at 31. 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. When I count up, when I count up the 10 stick and the ones that are in red, it equals 15. Down at the bottom, I decided to use the number line strategy. So I began with 16. I added 10 more to get 26. I added 4 more so that I could get that nice decade number to get 30. And 1 more equals 31. When I count up the hops here at the top, I've got 10 plus 4 is 14. Plus 1 more is 15. Here's our final problem. Juan took some pictures of the chicks on the farm. He took 40 pictures of the kittens on the farm. He took 75 pictures at the farm. How many pictures did he take of the chicks? I'll read that a second time. Juan took some pictures of the chicks on the farm. He took 40 pictures of the kittens on the farm. He took 75 pictures at the farm total. How many pictures did he take of the chicks? So boys and girls, here I started off once again. I see the word some, which indicates that there is some missing information. So I have my green line to start my equation. And then Juan took 40 pictures of the kittens. So I added my 40 here. And then finally, he took 75 pictures total at the farm. So my equation is something plus 40 equals 75. Take a look at my work. So I started off with the adding up strategy here. I began with 40 because that is the partner or add-in that I do know. I added 30 more, which equals 70. I added 5 more that equals 75. When adding up 30 and 5, I got the total of 35. Over here, for adding up using base 10 models, I started with 40, so you'll see my 4 10 sticks in black. And then I started to count up using 10s first. 50, 60, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75. When I count up my base 10 models in red, they equal 35. And finally, down here at the bottom, I started at 40 once again and made a big hop of 30, which equals 70, and then a smaller hop of 5, which equals 75. If I count up the amount in the hops, 35 is the answer.